everyone, I'm Will Brown and welcome to the WPQuickies series, bite-sized WordPress tips and tricks in 30 minutes or less. In this lunchtime quickies, I'm going to be talking about WooCommerce versus Shopify, so the boxing gloves come off. We're going to be looking at 5 kind of core elements that you should really be looking for in an e-commerce solution. I'm going to focus on WooCommerce and Shopify for those. Okay, before we start, make sure to press on buttons, subscribe, bells, likes, and all this stuff on social media. We've also got a Facebook group, so make sure that you join our free Facebook group. So just search for WordPress Sydney Meetup and you'll be able to find that here. And if you are watching from Facebook, then make sure you click on the streamer.com/Facebook URL link, and that just links your Facebook avatar up with the Streamer so I can see who you are. Please drop your name and where you're from in the comments as well. I'm going to shout out to those that are online at the moment. Just going through a few of these notices. So shout out for WPAustralia.org. So if you're looking to find any of the meetups across Australia, where they are, who's hosting them and when they're on, have a look at WPAustralia.org and then click on the Find a Meetup button. And you can also join our Slack group from there as well. Just a little shout out for my website owner survival guide. So if you are a developer or designer who creates or maintains client websites, I have that resource. Go and check it out, wasg.com.au. Next week as well, just a shout out for the big Sydney meetup. This is the evening meetup. It starts at 6 p.m. We're going to be talking about the new WordPress 5.9 that's been released. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of goodies in WordPress 5.9. So I'm going to be dissecting some of those features in like the big evening meetup at 6 p.m. So that's February the 28th, Monday, February the 28th. Look at. And I'm always looking for topics as well for these WP quickies. So if you can, please send in some topics. I got a few through last week, which is great. I'll drop a link down in the comments here as well. But I'm also looking to build up a lot of topics for this year, just so I can get them all scheduled, so you guys know what is coming up in the future. Okay, let's have a look at who is here just now. So we've got Paul. Thanks, Paul, for joining us. We've got Jonathan as well from Greenpoint in the Central Coast. Thank you, Jonathan, for joining me. We've got Dowie from a beautiful Sydney. Yes, it is nice and sunny and quite hot. If you're wondering what that noise is in the background, that's the whir of my fan going round and round. It's a small office and it gets pretty hot in here. We've got Morris. Hi there to myself and to everyone as well. Morris says hi to everyone. And Joy J from Singapore. Thanks, Joy, for tuning in from all the way from Singapore. Okay. You can leave your name and where you're from in the comments. That'd be great to see who's joining in. As always, all the links for this, so the presentation, all the links mentioned, I curate all these and put them in the video description on social media and on YouTube as well. So you'll get access to all the links and all the slides. And if you've got any comments, then please drop them in the comments below, and I'll try and answer them in line, or I'll kind of circle back to them towards the end. John says hello from Caves Feats. Hi, John. Thanks for joining in. So I'm going to dive into it. So a lot of slides here and quite a lot to talk about today. So let's jump into it. So are you thinking about creating an online store this year? If so, WooCommerce and Shopify are the 2 most popular e-commerce platforms at the moment. So which one do you choose? So in this WP Quickies, I'm going to dive into 5 key metrics that you should probably consider for each e-commerce platform, not just WooCommerce and Shopify, but any kind of e-commerce platform. But we're focusing on WooCommerce and Shopify today. So let's have a look at some of these. Let's familiarize ourselves with these 2 platforms from the get-go. So Shopify, it is a one-stop shop, pun is intended. Solution for implementing an online store where you can manage inventory, take payments, configure shipping, apply templates, and send off your shop all from a single dashboard. So with Shopify, you don't need to worry about web hosting, platform stack. All that is taken care of you with their hosted solution. So it is a proprietary e-commerce solution, meaning you don't exactly know what's under the hood, and you definitely can't change the solution stack. That could be good for some people and bad for the other. It just depends on where you're coming from. WooCommerce is an open source WordPress plugin. It's currently the most popular e-commerce solution at the moment, even more popular than Shopify. It sits on top of WordPress, the most popular content management system, of course, which now dominates 43% of the market share for the content management systems, and is also an open source project. Now, the WooCommerce plugin, it extends the functionality of the core WordPress app by providing a complete e-commerce solution, allowing you to manage products, stock, payments, and shipping all from that one plugin. So with both WooCommerce and WordPress being open source, you can configure, change, and extend every part of the stack if you need or want to. So those are the two solutions that we're going to be looking at today. So let's dive into these 5 core elements. Now, I'm sorry if some of these backgrounds are missing. I was really quick putting this presentation together right up until the last couple of minutes. Hopefully it's fine, but let's dive in anyway. Okay, so there are 5 key metrics that you should consider before choosing a platform for your new online shop. The first one is costs. So you should have a budget in mind for implementing your online shop that covers things like purchasing the service or the components for that, running the online shop, and maintaining the e-commerce platform. So the first thing is cost. The next thing is usability. Now, how easy is the platform to use? So consider administration aspects like creating products, importing and exporting products, managing stock, refunds, the reporting mechanisms, as well as the front end experience as well, like the people be able to find your products, be able to add stuff into the cart, do checkout, do payment, and get deliveries as well. So usability, obviously, a very important key metric to look at. Next one is payment methods. So depending on your target market, your budget, or even your location, you may need to prefer or use specific payment methods. So you need to make sure that those are supported by whatever e-commerce platform that you're going to choose. And of course, that leads nicely into shipping methods. So you may be looking to sell virtual, downloadable, or online products, or physical products, or maybe a mixture of both. So shipping of physical products is likely going to be the most complex and costly part of the e-commerce store. So you really need to make sure the platform that you choose supports your shipping requirements, including things like delivery, tracking, reporting, and costs. And lastly, we're going to be looking at scalability. So you may start out with a small shop selling a few products at first, or you could plan to go all out with adding hundreds or thousands of products from the get-go. But regardless of your ambitions, you need to consider the scalability of the e-commerce platform for both product and stock management, as well as be able to serve your customer base as your business grows. Now, these are very basic and general considerations for an online store. However, you might have more specific requirements, such as integrating with existing stock management systems, maybe taking payments over the phone, perhaps capturing your information into a CRM, or even using things like drop shipping. But let's take a look at how WooCommerce and Shopify compare with these 5 key metrics. Okay, first one here is costs of WooCommerce. So cost is always going to be a significant factor in choosing the right e-commerce platform. Now, free, of course, is best for budgeting, but you always get what you pay for, and does free really mean zero cost? That's something you need to consider. And so let's look at WooCommerce. Now, the core WooCommerce plugin is free, and that is one of the big factors that makes WooCommerce platform so popular at the moment. Now, included in the free version of WooCommerce is support for virtual and physical products, online payment, stock management, product imports, exports, as well as basic shipping management and reporting methods. Now, the free WooCommerce plugin provides pretty much all you need to run a basic online shop. And the core WordPress app, which WooCommerce sits on top of, is also free. But to run this stack, you need to purchase some hosting, which could be your own hosted solution, or it could be WordPress.com, or maybe WooCommerce.com, like a paid plan for that. Hosting plans, they start pretty cheaply. If you're doing it yourself, they can start for $3 a month if you go for super cheap. But if you want to run a really performant WooCommerce solution, then it's best to go for a pretty decent hosting plan. Now, hosting costs are going to be dependent on many factors, such as how many plugins you're running, how many products your store has, web page size in kilobytes, your daily traffic numbers, as well as the number of purchases and concurrent users, for example, with lots of different metrics as well. Now, you can expect to pay about $65 and up per month for a decent WooCommerce store. To appear professional, you're probably going to want to have your own domain name, so you've got costs associated with that and the different .com or .com.au or different extensions that you want to that. But that's probably going to cost you about 20 to 30 bucks a year for registration of that. SSL certificates as well. Of course, you need to make sure that your WooCommerce shop is secure. Any shop is secure, any website is secure, which is going to require an SSL certificate. Now, you should not pay for SSL certificate. That should be free. There's plenty of free ones out. There's the Let's Encrypt organization, which provides free. So if your web hosting provider is asking you to pay for an SSL certificate, then that's a bit of a red flag to jump and find some other place. Now, the true costs of running WooCommerce sites start to be realized when you need to extend away from the basic online shop functionality to something a little bit more specialized. Now, using something like a payment gateway other than Stripe or PayPal, it's going to require a paid extension, some costing up to several $100s. If you require a better reporting system or better integrations with other third-party systems, this is also going to require the purchase of sometimes perhaps costly plugins up into the hundreds of dollars. So some of the official WooCommerce plugins which extend core functionality can cost maybe $200 or maybe $300 for yearly subscriptions. And when you need a few of those, maybe 2 or 3, then those costs can start to add up. So that's really the true cost of running like a WooCommerce system. You've got your hosting, you've got your domain name, but then you've got your little plugins that you need to add on to extend that functionality. And that can really creep up into kind of more cost for those. Jonathan is saying that YouTube is buffering, so sorry about that. I will have the recording, so I'll review the recording afterwards, and if it's a bit jumpy, I'll upload another one so you can watch it all easily. Okay, let's have a quick look at Shopify. I'm talking really fast today because I've got a lot of stuff in these slides and I want to get through them in 30 minutes. So sorry if I'm going at a million miles an hour. So the cost of using Shopify. Okay, the pricing model in Shopify is a bit simpler than WooCommerce because it's a complete hosted solution. So there's no free plan. However, they do offer a 14-day free trial period, which gives you access to all the features in the top plan. And after that 14 days, then you can choose whatever plan you want to downgrade to or keep at the top plan there. You can compare the features of the different plans from the Shopify homepage. I'm not going to go into them here. So you can see which ones are which and which is best for you with all these different features. Now, you can choose to run your shop under a free example shop.myshopify.com. So that's their hosted domain. Otherwise, you're going to need to purchase your own domain name and then link it into your Shopify account, just as you would with the WooCommerce hosted solution. But because Shopify is an all-in-one hosted solution, they provide their own payment gateways and shipping methods from which they take a small commission per transaction. Now, the Shopify payments solution, it costs 2.9% per transaction plus 30 cents for every transaction, and that's on the basic plan. Now, you can use other payment gateways, but again, Shopify is going to take a standard transaction percentage of 2% on each transaction on the basic plan, on top of the commission that the payment gateway is already charging. So if Shopify doesn't support the payment gateway that you need to use, you could end up paying double the commission on each transaction, which is a bit of an ouch for me. But regardless, commissions, percentages, they do decrease ever so slightly the higher the paid plans you go on Shopify. But it's not a significant reduction, really. So if you're starting out on a small online shop on the basic Shopify plan, the Shopify payments commission rates are kind of similar to charges by PayPal or Stripe and the like. So, cost summary, when you're implementing a budget for your e-commerce shop, make sure that you know all your requirements and look into what the core functionality is provided by WooCommerce and Shopify. And also all the other extensions that you need to purchase and their yearly costs involved for that. So, for the winner, for this cost, I'm going to say Shopify is going to win this one for very basic small online shops. And of course, WooCommerce is going to win for the larger complex online stores. Okay, let's jump into usability. So let's face reality, most store owners are not developers or designers and probably don't even want to spend any time doing either. So let's look at how easy it is to set up an online store on each platform. So first, WooCommerce. Now, WooCommerce it's just another WordPress plugin. So installing and configuring settings for the store should be relatively easy for those already familiar with WordPress. The core WordPress plugin, it comes with a good setup wizard that helps you get a basic store settings up and running really quickly. And there's an image on the screen for an example. As you would expect with a big complex plugin, there are many settings that cover all aspects of an e-commerce store. However, due to popularity of WooCommerce, there are thousands of free tutorials, blogs, and facts that you can basically look at to overcome any issues that you might come across. So there's probably no worries there. Now, there are a couple of general areas that many WooCommerce shop owners get stuck on setting up. The first one is product variants. Now, that's where you have a base product that maybe comes in different types. For example, for clothing, you might have different colors, different sizes, and different genders. So that's the first one that kind of stumbles people. The second one is shipping methods. Now, how to ship physical products to the most economical way to its destination. Factor into things like location, dimension, weight, and quantity. So there are kind of two big stumble areas that setting up a WooCommerce shop owners usually find when they're setting a new shop up. Now, while the back end of WooCommerce is relatively straightforward, complexity starts to creep in into the front end of the store. Now, aside from the general WordPress pages, WooCommerce adds extra templates to your theme. So things like cart, checkout, my account, single product page, product archives, for example. Now, you're going to need to make sure that your WordPress theme supports WooCommerce templates. Usually a theme will advertise that compatibility or not. And most WooCommerce compatible templates will allow you to configure basic aspects of templates like colors and font sizes, for example. But the complexity starts coming in when you're adding extra plugins. So they're going to have different plugin areas and things like that. So it might become quickly overwhelming knowing exactly where to go to change the different aspects of WooCommerce within the whole stack of stuff. And let's not mention the incompatibilities causing things to disappear and functionality not to work properly once you start adding all these different plugins in together. Now, if you have your own hosted WooCommerce solution, you're going to have to keep that maintained. So maintain the WordPress core, plugins, themes, as well as security and the hosting plan and performance and all those related issues. Now, while usability for your shopper should remain good on the front end, your shop and site administration can become a headache. So usability for WooCommerce, it could be an issue. Okay, so usability of Shopify. Oh, we are running out of time. I'm going to go faster. Usability of Shopify. Now, forget plugins, forget adding more CPUs or RAM to your server, or worrying about security. And that's all taken care of with a hosted Shopify solution. Now, at the end of the day, you want to spend more time growing your online business, right? So who cares how it works under the hood? So that's a big tick for Shopify. And so Shopify also has a setup wizard. In fact, it has 6 simple steps to get you up and started with your shop. And once you've completed the final step, you get into the Shopify dashboard with all your settings and options within that one single dashboard. And that's what I like about Shopify. The dashboard is one consistent place where you basically configure, administer, and operate your online shop. So no looking around for where to get stuff and all the different settings and different kind of visual ways to update stuff. It's a consistent single dashboard experience. Now, managing products and inventory is super simple with a single page interface and some basic SEO options. You can choose from a wide range of free themes or you can pay for premium themes. And again, that's all within the single dashboard area. Now, Shopify itself comes with an easy drag and drop editor for customizing your theme. It's not as powerful as Beaver Builder or Elementor or the like, but it does the job. You can have columns, you can have rows, you can drag components, text, headlines, products, and all that sort of stuff. So it's a really nice interface and it works really well. And I haven't had it crash yet, which is good. The downside to this easy-to-use, polished interface is that you're kind of stuck with all the options that you have. There's no way to add, there's no way to remove, and there's no way to modify them. So Shopify here is a clear winner for usability for me, with its shiny, polished interface and consistent interface, both for the back end and front end of the online shop. Okay, so payment methods. So it's all about money, right? So you need to have a good balance of payment methods that straddle costs, commissions, familiarity, availability to customers, and the like. So WooCommerce, so the core WooCommerce plugin, it comes with the free PayPal, bank transfers like the manual money aspects options as well. There's also a free Stripe plugin where you can accept credit cards, along with the new WooCommerce payment plugin, which kind of combines PayPal and credit card kind of stuff together. But I know that people are having a few problems. It's kind of new at the moment. But looking further ahead of just PayPal and Stripe, there are numerous other payment gateways that you can purchase for WooCommerce if that's what you need to use. A quick browse of the official WooCommerce.com extension repository, and that's the shot that's on the screen just now. It shows over 80 results for payment methods. Now, prices in here range from free all the way up to $100 for the official extensions here in the repository. But there's other locations like Code Canyon, which offer alternative payment gateways and different price levels as well. Now, with WordPress and WooCommerce both being open source software, if you can't find a pre-built gateway, then you can just hire a developer. As long as your payment service offers an API, hire a developer and create one for you. Shopify. Now, Shopify, as mentioned previously, being a hosted e-commerce solution, Shopify provides its own Shopify payment method. There is also an option to set up and configure PayPal Express and to create manual payment methods. Now, if you need something other than Shopify payments or PayPal, you can only choose from a list of alternative payment methods available within Shopify. That's the image to the right of the screen there. Now, this alternative list is pretty good. However, Shopify does charge that flat 2% commission on each transaction on top of what you're going to pay through any of these services as well. And if the payment gateway you need to use is not on the list, tough. Sorry. Okay, so summary of payment methods. WooCommerce here is a clear winner for payment methods for me. Being open source software, you can pretty much find any plugin anywhere, and if it's not there, you can build one and create or get a developer to create one for you. I'm going to circle around to some of the comments at the end, guys, just so you know I'm not ignoring them. Okay, so shipping methods. So if you provide physical products for your online shop, then you will need to give consideration to shipping options and providers. Now, WooCommerce, the core WooCommerce plugin provides the ability to create shipping zones where you can define geographical shipping methods. So you can choose from 3 shipping methods: flat rate, free shipping, or local pickup. And of course, the plugin is going to add extra ones based on whatever functionality, but those are the ones that are in the free core plugin. The core plugin itself also allows you to define multiple shipping classes where you can group products together that've got similar shipping requirements, and then you can apply those shipping classes for each of those shipping methods. Now, if you need to use an external shipping service, now you're likely going to find a pre-built plugin, or you can hire again a developer to do and to build you one from those if you find a service that's got an API that you want to use. Now, a quick search of the WooCommerce extension repository, and that's the screenshot on there just now, returned 60 results from the shipping, delivery, and fulfillment category. Now, unfortunately, the core WooCommerce plugin doesn't come with the ability to print labels or packing slips, which is a bit weird from an online e-commerce shop, I think. You're going to need a plugin to do this. Now, WooCommerce has its own WooCommerce shipping plugin that is free and does provide label and printing functionality, or you can choose to go on all these different sites like Code Canyon or Theme Forest to try and find a theme that does it or a plugin that provides that functionality. Okay, Shopify. Shopify also supports local delivery, shipping, and local pickup methods. You can manage shipping rates for local and international deliveries. You can create custom rates called shipping profiles, although the options are a bit more limited than WooCommerce provides. Now, Shopify, it works with leading providers like DHL, UPS, Canada Post, FedEx, USPS, and all those big shipping carriers. And they can ship domestically and internationally, pretty much anywhere in the world. Now, that's like a service that Shopify provides, or you can choose your own carrier and then enter those rates manually yourself. Now, if you choose to use the Shopify, what they call shipping partners for shipping, the whole process is pretty much handled for you, from label to packing and also package slip printing to pickup. where you can really speed up the fulfillment process. And so that's like a key benefit, I think, from Shopify. And I think Shopify kind of wins this kind of particular category because it's super easy to ship physical products with a kind of done-for-you shipping service. Now, WooCommerce, it also allows you to pick and choose shipping services. So that's kind of a bit of a winner if you really want to pick that's bespoke shipping service and rates that kind of best fit your business model. Otherwise, Shopify with it done-for-you shipping is pretty good. Okay, last one, number 5, scalability. So hopefully over time your online business will grow, and as it does, your website platform is also going to need to scale as well to meet demand. Now, you may also experience seasonal spikes in demand from your online shop, where you need to scale up during busy periods and maybe scale down when demand is low as well. Now, WooCommerce. A WooCommerce, because it's a plugin that sits on top of WordPress, which is your self-hosted platform, that stack, that hosted stack, a platform stack, and scalability is all going to be determined by your hosting plan and how that copes with the demand. So you really need to be talking to the web hosting providers in order to get the most performance from your site if you're looking to scale up WooCommerce. Now, as your site and online business grows, your WooCommerce hosting bill will grow as well. But you're going to have better control, more fine detailed control over the specific resources that you need to upgrade. So you need to upgrade CPU, you need to upgrade RAM, if you need to spin off into different instances, all that sort of stuff. You've got kind of fine-grained control in how you would delegate that performance. So to make sure that you're paying for resources that you just need. And this works especially well for these seasonal spikes. For example, things like cloud hosting, scalable cloud hosting, which can spin up as it notices demand and spin down, for the low periods as well. Now, Shopify with scalability, being a hosted solution, Shopify, you don't need to worry about the underlying technology stack. They take care of that for you. You just need to know that Shopify takes care of performance, security, and scalability on its platform automatically. Now, their infrastructure can easily handle your growing business without you having to worry about downtimes, backups, updates, or security. They also offer an enterprise service as well as part of their Shopify Plus plan, and that's a little screenshot on the screen at the moment for that particular service. Now, you may need to upgrade to a higher plan in order to get all the performance your online store needs during those busy spikes. Otherwise, you can just kind of leave your Shopify store on autopilot, and it will scale up and perform as it needs to. So I think that both Shopify and WooCommerce are excellent platforms in their own right for scalability for that. So I think that's really, 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 really good. Now, overall, I think Shopify and WooCommerce, I think they do really, really well in their own worlds. It really is depending on what you want to do. The Shopify is the more hands-off approach to administering, to managing the site, and with its kind of done-for-you shipping service as well. That can be a real attraction for people to do that. With WooCommerce, obviously WooCommerce appeals to a more bespoke setup. So if you're really looking to integrate different third-party platforms, if you're really looking to get down to the specifics of your product, your service, those kind of exacting things you need from that, then WooCommerce is a great choice to be able to really update and configure any particular aspect of your online shop. The decision, which one is the winner? Well, that's going to be really dependent on your requirements for an online shop, things like the flexibility, managing to expand the shop, and the time that you prepare to manage all the aspects of the platform as well. I've spoken really quickly, and the 30 minutes are up. I noticed there's a few questions there, so I'm going to circle around to some of those. Sorry for speaking really, really quickly. I didn't really realize how much content I had in there until I put together all the slides. I'm like, I'm not going to fit that in 30 minutes, but close to it, just over 30, so that's not too bad. Okay, let's see. A couple of questions here. We've got Claire says, I think a big drawback of WooCommerce is the lack of a dedicated sidebar for the shop page. I feel like that's something that they could easily add. I completely agree with you, Claire. One of the big issues with WooCommerce, once you start to expand over a month or the year, is you will add in all these extra plugins, and being WordPress there's no kind of consistent interface for that, so you'll find all these settings splattered all over the place, and that can be a big drawback, is not knowing exactly where to go to update that one particular text on that one particular maybe cart thing. And that's something that happens with me, with my clients. I get emails through every month that says, where do I go to update the blah on the blah page again? So yeah, having all your options all over the place, the lack of like a consistent interface is definitely a big drawback. So I completely agree with you, Claire, on that. Joey J asks, does Shopify allow us to edit HTML and CSS freely? I'm not 100% sure on that, Joey J. I'm not exactly sure as to where the interface stops between your drag and drop and your ability to edit stuff. I'm fairly sure they've got an HTML widget that you can you can drag in, and they do have like a customizer area, like a WordPress customizer area, where you can add in your CSS stuff. So definitely you can do CSS. The ability to edit the HTML for the drag and drop components, not 100% sure on your ability to do that. You do have configuration options, but being able to muck around with the core HTML, I don't think you'll be able to do that because it's a proprietary system for that. But I'm fairly sure it does have an HTML widget you can drag stuff into that. But as far as the fine detail of changing every single component as you're used to in things like Beaver Builder, Elementor, and Gutenberg, then that's probably a big no from Shopify. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you very much for bearing with me. I know it's been a bit of a longer WP Quickie than normal. Thank you for your questions as well. Here's me. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. Oh, I'm hiding my LinkedIn. On LinkedIn and Developer Will. On Instagram, WillBrett_EU, and on Twitter, WillBrett_EU as well. And just a quick shout out, next week on WP Quickies, I am going to be covering the 5.9 WordPress release as well, kind of dissecting different bits. So I might take maybe a few weeks just to cover all these kind of core components in WordPress 5.9. So if you're interested in that, you can join me in the big one on the last Monday of the month, on February 28th, where I'm going to be diving into 5.9 completely. Probably not an hour session, or I'm going to break it into like a bite-sized chunks over the next 2 or 3 weeks in the WP Quickies as well. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for bearing with me with a big topic today, and lots of really quick talking from me. And I'll see you guys next week talking about WordPress 5.9. See ya.